armed forces, number one guarantor of national security. That was done on the 11th of July 2025. That now set the stage for active politics to be played in Cameroon. According to the decree signed by President Paul Biya convening the electoral body, it stipulates that elections for the presidency shall take place on the 12th of October and voting shall begin at exactly 8 a.m. and expected to close by 6 p.m. Then there will be vote counting and other procedures will follow suit. With this electoral body convened, each day passes by in Cameroon as we inches to the electoral day of the voting itself. Candidates keep declaring day in, day out. As I'm talking to you, we have lost count of the aspirants who want to take over President Paul Biya in Cameroon. It is now becoming like a political party. If we do a count, it may be tempted to see that we are over 200 political aspirants who want to unseat President Paul Biya or want to unseat the ruling party CPDM. But the sad reality among all these aspirants, those who have declared, is that 70% of them focus on criticizing opposition and themselves. In fact, the fight is more on them than who they want to unseat. And if you are President Paul Biya, the only thing you will do is to ask them to fight more and to declare more, because the more they declare, the more spies, the more fewer their voters will be. However, it is now set for politicians to move across the nation and tell their surrogate what they need to surrogate for. As I'm talking to you right now, across the social media fair in Cameroon, it is all about the political landscape and presidential election which are fast coming. All eyes are on the official pages of President Paul Biya to see whether he will officially announce that he is running for re-election. So far, the information on whether Biya is seeking re-election is information made known by his surrogate and top party militants who convened to say that they are going to give a resounding victory to President Paul Biya. We all watch and are not ignorant of the fact that the Secretary General of the Republic of Cameroon, Ferdinand Gongo, convened a meeting at the presidency of the Republic with elites from the northwest and southwest region, dubbed consultative talk to give President Paul Biya a resounding victory and to set out strategies that they will actually go to campaign for President Paul Biya. With that meeting, it is something that we call a teaser for us to know that President Paul Biya might and will run for the 2025 presidential election. We have also listened and heard some of his surrogate actually talking about the fact that it is a 50-50 chance that President Paul Biya will run and will seek re-election. For context, President Paul Biya is 92 years, and if he actually seek re-election this 2025, and if he wins, he will end the mandate at 99 years. And that, according to Constitution, he is still eligible for re-election even at 99 years. He's still eligible for re-election based on Cameroon's Constitution. The question Cameroonians are now asking is, can the opposition or those Cameroonians who want change are asking is, can the opposition be ready to sacrifice their ego, their pride, and look for a unified front and see how they can unseat the ruling party? President Paul Biya has been there since 6th of November 1982. Since November 1982, you count down to where we are, it will give you about 42 years. And if you look at the trajectory of where the nation is going, President Paul Biya has always articulated that his vision for Cameroon, it is a vision for rigor and moralization. Rigor, for those who understand the context of rigor, mean that things should not just be done, but should be done with the respect of the rule of law. Things should not just be done, but should be done with a human face. Things should not just be done, but should be done in a way that it meets the objective of every citizen. That is rigor. And with rigor, it means no to corruption, no to embezzlement. With rigor, it means no to tribalism. With rigor, it means that no to favoritism. With rigor, it means that people should not be judged by the language they speak or the tongues they speak or the region they emanate from, whether they are from the northwest, from the southwest, from the littoral, from the west, from the east, from the center or not. They should not be judged by these areas they come from, but they should be judged by the content of their character, by rigor. But 42 years after, how much are we at the level of rigor? Can you say that rigor has been achieved within the 42 years of President Paul Biya? Before moving to the changes of slogans, green revolution, great realization, great ambition, we are now great mobilization, and you can name the rest of the grand, great ambition. We are now 42 years. Are we at the level of rigor? Corruption is all-time high in Cameroon. In fact, at the maximum penitentiary security in Yaoundé, Dop Kundengi, we almost have an entire government there charged with embezzlement of state funds. And today, it is common to hear people going to seek for jobs and they ask them, what is your name? The person tells you, my name is Javis. They say, no, the other name. They are not asking for the other name because they want to know if you are called Tah Javis. They are asking for the other name to know how they can treat and deal with you. So if you say, my name is Tah, if you are from their region, then they treat you well. If you are not from their region, they start looking at the way. That is what Cameroonians have described their experiences of looking for jobs in this nation. However, as we inch towards a presidential election, it is incumbent for Cameroonians to understand that people or candidates that they need to vote for should be voted for based on their track record, based on their character, their competency, based on what they have been able to achieve. The choice is yours. How far can we go? How best can we go to select a candidate for 2025 presidential election? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Javis. Happy Sunday to all those of you joining us. We want to wish you a very big happy Sunday. Here in the studio, we're joined by a cream of panelists. Some are still on their way, who we shall be talking about the topic, which is the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, has convened the electoral body that now set the stage. Candidates have about 10 days to actually go and table their candidacy for scrutiny at the level of elections Cameroon. Once that is done, there will be a period where the official list shall be published, and there will be pre-electoral dispute for those who may think that they have been disqualified unjustly. There shall be pre-electoral dispute where they shall actually plead their case before competent authority, and if they are found worthy to participate, the instruction shall be given to Elecam to actually put them on the list. Then we shall wait now for the 2 weeks to campaign prior to presidential election. We are now in July, and now when we move to August, we have just August, because in September we shall be seeking active politics. As somebody who always say in pidgin, jungle, the start mature summer time. In the studio, we are joined by Paul Biya, member of the Social Democratic Front, who has been championing the cause that SDF has what it takes to actually change Cameroon. Paul Biya, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Javis, happy Sunday to you, and happy Sunday to my co-panelists. Happy Sunday to all your audience, and I want to send a special greetings to my people of Abakwa, that is Bamenda, where I come from, and I also want to say happy Sunday to my chairman the second, Honorable Nambangi Joshua Osi. I also want to extend happy Sunday to my group, the Day Zero in Hamburg, which is also one of my political base, and I say welcome to all your viewers. Silvanus Mutaga, who is one of my friends of a different political party, is also here with me. I want to say happy Sunday to you, and I hope we are going to have a convivial discussion. Thank you. In the studio, we are joined by the special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, Evangelist Sam Mutaga. Happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Tah Javis, and happy Sunday to all the illustrious sons of Kruku Village of Batigo Subdivision that are watching this program. Happy Sunday to the militants and sympathizers of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement who are actually working on the training of polling station agents, because our candidate would be one of those who will be running for the 2025 presidential elections. Happy Sunday to His Excellency Professor Maurice Kamto, that will be watching this program too at his residence. Happy Sunday to the civil society that accompanied the electoral process during the registration of Cameroonians on the electoral list. Happy Sunday to the diaspora, those who are watching in Europe, in Asia, in America, and happy Sunday to those who are in Africa watching from other countries. It's always a pleasure to be here on your TV platform to edify Cameroonians and the world at large, especially on political issues like that which is very pertinent at this juncture, the presidential elections of 2025. Thank you so much. President Paul Biya, 92 years old, obviously is one of those whom Cameroonians would not be expecting to see in the list of those who will be running for the 2025 presidential elections, Mr. Tah Javis.
Also, we await the arrival of Engineer Dixon and also Nick Anu. These will be the gentlemen with whom we are going to have a discussion as far as this topic for today is concerned. I want to wish you happy Sunday to you, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife Joanne. I want to wish you also happy Sunday to you, Papa J in DC. Happy Sunday to all those of you who are watching us from different parts of the world who have been supporting the program House of Commons. The list is too long because of time. I may not call your name. Happy Sunday to all of you, and my very good friend in Canada. Happy Sunday to you too. I begin the program with you, Paddy Asanga. President Paul Biya officially convened electoral body which set the stage for active politics in Cameroon for the presidential election 2025. What should be the roadmap of political stakeholders, top, especially the Social Democratic Front?
You see, Javis, we are 35 years old, and for us, after the elections, it is before the elections. So we knew that we are going to go for elections. It is not a surprise because we have some by-rules that govern the country, and we are not in a monarchy where people expect that unless Mr. Biya dies before, we would be going to conclave somewhere and produce the next king. So convening the electoral call is nothing new, but it goes as it is supposed to be. Now the question is, what are the stakes of this election? It's not about Mr. Biya has convened the electoral call and so on and so on. That thing should be constitutional. It should not even be its prerogative. It should be constitutional, that you enact it in your constitution that the election shall be conducted 5 years after this on a Sunday, and this is after 5 years, after when the mandate expires. So giving him that power makes him the alpha and the omega. You should not also forget that Mr. Biya also has the power to dissolve the parliament, which is supposed to be the representative of the people. So it is for us, we are in a system where l'état c'est moi, le Jacobinist Napoleonic system that has been legated on us. So calling the electoral college and asking people to go and vote, it is but natural. Now, what are the stakes? That is what we should be talking about.
Yeah, that's why I say, what is the way forward now for political parties?
And I want to say this and say this emphatically. We are talking, the stakes are the youths against the old. And our political party thinks that we should try to respect our youth, who are the backbone of the Cameroon economy, by looking for candidates who have not yet reached the official retirement age of category A1, which is 65 years. Because you will understand that a country like Cameroon that has 70% of its working force, which are youths, intellectuals, researchers, journalists, then we have a panoply of candidates who have attained retirement age. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? So any young person who has all his brain intact should know the stakes at this present election. Because if not because of some of them who are pretending to be presidential candidates today, Mr. Biya would not be there. You can remember that the youth rose up in 2008 to decry the fact that the constitution should not be touched, to give Mr. Biya that leverage to even contest even at 99, because given the current debate, it was on the blood of Cameroonians that thing happened. And then we have all retired candidates, some of them who are even agents of France, organizing their meeting in France, coming to say that they want to run for president. At what age? 70, 78, 80. It is uncalled for. So we should be talking about the stakes and not Mr. Biya has called the electoral court. The youth should put themselves together, get their voters' cards ready, go and withdraw them, and vote a young, dynamic person. Remember that when Ahijo took over the helm of this country, he was just 39. I think Biya was 25. When my late chairman launched the SDF, he was 49. So we should understand that at a certain age, you don't have that physical and even mental capacity to think with the wind of change. We are talking about Android generation. We are talking about artificial intelligence. What do all those people know about that? What do they know about it? So the stake is not about calling the electoral court. Whether they like it or not, Cameroonians have the right to go and vote. But this time around, they shall not go to vote people who have attained and even above retirement age, who should be sitting back and taking care of their grandchildren. That's where they stake us. I've seen some people say they are resigning. What I expected from them, they should resign and come out and say, okay, I am going on retirement. Yes, it is your turn, the youth. Take over the political party. We will give you the guidelines. We are there to support you. I who is speaking, some people might think that I belong to that generation of it. No. I'm already getting to my retirement age soon. At any time, I could become a grandfather. So I don't see myself forcing it. And when you see some of these people talk, what do they do? They can barely, and they are trembling. Je suis venu ici pour vous annoncer que je serai candidat à l'élection. What is that? What is that?
But Paddy, briefly, is it not also their constitutional right to actually announce their candidacy?
You have a constitutional right and you have the reality.
Let me you answer now. I want to ask you the question. Is it not their constitutional right, given the fact that the Constitution actually did not stipulate age bracket to say that at this age you should not? It means that the Constitution had considered the fact that age is wisdom, and so regardless of whichever age you are, you should seek your election.
Listen, Javi, let me be very honest and sincere to you people. African countries don't need aging president because they don't have strong institutions. African constitution should have an age limit until the day they have strong institutions. Because an aging, and in a country where the institutions are strong, things go automatically without the president. But in countries that you have weak institutions and then you have aging presidents, you get the grip that we have today. It is tight because people, the delegate signature and that delegation of signature is used to abuse the common man. See the drama and the cacophony that is happening at the presidency. That is symptomatic because the president is aging. You people, journalists, should have the courage to say it as it is.
That we are also bound by the Constitution.
But the Constitution says that it is by design. Why did we amend? It is by design.
Yeah, but the Constitution does not give age limit.
That is what we are saying. We should transit from this Constitution. We need a new social contract. And we are going to get it whether they like it or not. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Semutaga. President Paul Biya on the 11th of July convened the electoral body now set the stage for active politics to be played in Cameroon. What should be the way forward for politicians, especially the CRM party, whose candidate is hopeful that he will be accepted to run for the 2025 presidential election?
Mr. Tah Javis, I concord with some of the assertions of my co-panelist, Paul Biya, especially with regards to the aging of some of the political actors. 92 years is too much for a presidential aspirant to be thinking of governing this nation. Now, coming to the CRM candidate, who is Professor Maurice Kamto, after the 2018 presidential elections, you bear in mind with me that we did not go and lie on our laurels. We did not go in slumbers. The CRM had been working tremendously, preparing for this opportune moment, unlike other political parties whose leaders and sympathizers and militants went on holidays. We contested the elections. We have been, since 2023, clamoring for Cameroonians to register on the electoral list. Personally, you saw that I went to the northwest and southwest region, right in the fee. I crisscrossed the by roads and most of the towns in the northwest and the southwest, which the call for Cameroonians to get registered massively was yielded to positively. Now, Professor Maurice Kamto and the CRM are working on how to win the election. Don't forget, the next process after the convening of the electorate is a submission of the candidate's file for validation by the ELECAM, that is the body in charge of organizing elections in Cameroon. The CRM has taken necessary measures to ensure that their candidate is validated. That Professor Kamto has said it severally. What we ought to be thinking at this particular juncture as a political party is to ensure that those whom we motivated, we took to the various stations or offices of ELECAM to register, go and retrieve their cards. Unfortunately, ELECAM's boss has just published that, or has made public that the names could be consulted on the ELECAM website. Personally, I consulted my name. Don't forget, I registered in 2012. That was when the biometric system came in. I registered in 2012, and I went in for the 2013 municipal and parliamentary elections, and I voted in 2018. So obviously, my name was supposed to be in the list. So I saw my name. Those of other persons who just registered in 2023, 2024, some in 2025, early February 2025, which I had to collect their entries, their personal information, and we tried to verify. I want to tell you that their names are not in that list. And then one of the things that leaves me perplexed is that you could verify your name on that website in the morning, and you see they tell you that your name is effectively in the list, and then in the evening you go again to check your name in that website, and they tell you that
witch hunting, please.
The name is nowhere to be found.
Please.
So it is
maybe that's regrettable. Experienced because people are giving their own testimony about the same website.
It is regrettable that is happening. So we think that this is the moment that political stakeholders, the civil society, political parties ought to be called by ELECAM to assist in the updating of the systems that is put in place. Because just imagine that a Cameroonian that has his receipt, has been registered and given the receipt, goes to vote on the day of elections, and he reaches at his police station and his name is not on the list. We had similar cases in 2018. Don't forget, I was chargé de mission for Professor Kamto during the 2018 presidential elections here in Littoral. I went through most of the police stations were in Bonaberi, and even in Douala 1,
I experienced that in 2011.
We experienced that in 2018. I mean 2018.
I experienced in 2011.
You experienced that in 2011. Very good. As I was saying, Paddy thought that maybe it's mental quackery. So this is a moment which political actors, the civil society, ought to be vigilant, scrutinizing the information that is from Elecam, checking that those whose names have been registered on the list, or those who have their receipts, are duly registered, because the statistics given by Elecam shows that we are above 8 million registered on the electoral list. So most of those who have registered recently are certainly those who are disgruntled, or those who have had a newfound leader and a new political force, and they are willing to go in and cast their vote. So what we want to say is this: every Cameroonian that has registered, we know it is not easy, especially for those in the rural areas, to have access to maybe internet and all the like, because even in Douala where we are, we know that the network system is not efficient. We still have about 3 months to the election day. Let them do everything to ensure that their names are entered in the effective list, like Elecam says, there are different lists. Don't forget, Mr. Tah Javis, that one of the things that we of the CRM had been expecting Elecam to do was to publish the national list. If the national list containing the names of all Cameroonians was online in such a way that you could verify, take for example, you are in a police station or a polling center. Normally, if it's difficult to ensure transparency, I mean, the names of potential electorates or in a polling station would have been in a particular folder, that when you consult your name in a polling center, you know that this polling center is like it is done with the GCE board. You know what the GCE board does? You know that I'm center number this, you can consult the name, and then you see all those are passed in that center.
Yeah, all the people in that center.
That center, you can have it. If it's difficult to say no, we can publish it, at least police centers and all the like, because if you talk about police stations, it will be difficult. At least with polling centers, it will be easier for Elecam to do the compilation per police centers. So if Elecam tells us that it's difficult to publish the name in one folder, at least the names per police centers, this will facilitate the task of stakeholders, political actors, to easily combine. Because let's say that in Douala or in Littoral, we know that there are about this number of polling centers. At least if the names are published per polling centers, the representatives of political parties can be dispatched to all the polling centers. They themselves can now aid Elecam in doing what? In compiling the national list. That will ensure that they know the exact number of persons who are going to register, and this would inspire a certain confidence in Cameroonians. So that's the more reason we of the CRM have been hammering. We still continue saying that the refusal by Elecam to publish the national electoral list is not a welcome initiative. However, whatever we can say at this particular juncture is that Cameroonians should remain optimistic, because we think that if opposition parties, the civil society, can mount more pressure on Elecam, and if Elecam would want to exercise good faith, we think that this is the moment, is the time, as they have brought the United Nations, even without consulting political parties, those represented at the local councils, those represented at the regions, those represented at the National Assembly and the Senate, in the pre-talks with the United Nations on how to ensure transparent election in 2025, Elecam can, within the time interval of 90 days, which is acted after the convening of the election, bring political stakeholders to get these facts or this intelligence, which we are lending to them, to be employed to ensure that we have a free, hitch-free election. It is time that youth would want to see another youth take over power, just like President Paul Biya took power as he was a youth. But then, I'm a youth in my early 40s. I would say youthfulness is not a political program. To be very frank, youthfulness is not a political program. We've seen presidents like Xi Jinping of China, a strong president. He's 71. We've seen presidents like Putin of Russia. He's a strong president. We've seen presidents like Donald Trump of the United Nations. Those are not youthful candidates. So now,
but he's lying. No, he's lying. I'm coming. No, he's coming. You have the time to talk about that now. No, Paddy, you have a time.
Coming to Cameroon.
Yes, Paddy, you have a time to talk about that.
Coming to Cameroon. Let us look at the case of the opposition party, which my co-panelist hails from. In 1992, Ni John Fundi has an impeccable charisma as a youth. Progressively, as the time passes by, he decided to allow the political party in 2018 for a youth, who is his chairman at the present juncture. That youth was unable to have even half of the score which Ni John Fundi made in 1992. So I don't think that it is the youth that matters. It is not a question of the youth. It is a question of Cameroonians having a candidate that has what it takes to challenge the status quo, to change the mentality in place, to distort and dismantle the rigging, that's machinery, or to change the embezzling system, the system of nepotism and corruption which is put in place. And you know for certain that at this particular juncture, any real candidate must be the candidate that the system is afraid of.
Okay.
And if you have
what do you mean? Excuse me. What do you mean by any real candidate?
Any real candidate.
Let me ask you. I have not asked the question. You answer. It's you. You have the one having the mic. What do you mean by any real candidate is a candidate that the system will fight against? Does it mean that if the system sees that a candidate is doing something repugnant to the laws of the land, even if that candidate is not having a good number of followers, the system should just fold their arms? Which one is not a real candidate based on your definition?
Mr. Tah Javis, we know the system in place does not like a candidate who doesn't sing their praises.
So which of the candidates now sing the praises of the system?
The parties that have been aligning and dining and whining with them in the night know themselves.
Which are they?
I cannot be the person to tell it.
Cameroonians, you are making the allegations.
Yes, I'm making the allegations because you know in 2000.
Cameroonians to know.
Yeah, let me tell you, in 2019, when the CRM asked its militants to go in the streets and ask for the war going on in the northwest and southwest region, we have political parties who said the bazooka for bazooka method is the best method in the northwest region.
Such as
you want to call me to call the names, you know them.
I don't know.
They have young political leaders who have been prostituted living from one political party to the other. They know. I don't need to quote names. I'm a politician.
I'm not saying names of individuals. I'm saying names of the
party. We have those who after the CRM asked for the publication of the national list of electorate, they said no, it's not a panacea. It's not necessary. We have those whom the CRM asked that they should ensure that those who embezzled money that was attributed for the construction of infrastructure for the 2019 AFCON.
Okay.
They said it is not something that is necessary. Those political parties are those who have been winning contracts.
We're coming back
they have parliamentarians that win contracts from the system in place, and we know them.
Semutaga. We are in a political time for an election. And there are still people who have just registered now who don't know where to go to. And you are telling them that we know. These are allegations they are making. And it's good if you know those parties. Say party A, party B, party C. Except you are just making allegations for political gains.
Mr. Tah Javis, in political science, whom I'm a political scientist, words must not be spoken as infants say things. But you say things, and people are the ones that need to use their brains.
Okay, Padia Sanga. Now, we are looking at a time frame here where we just have about 10 days for the candidates now, 10 to 12 days for candidates, business days for candidates to officially table their candidacy at Elecam for them to be scrutinized. And you are saying that it is good for Cameroonians to have to vote for young candidates. that can be able to pilot the changing landscape, because you are talking about artificial intelligence now, we're talking about nanotechnology, and in such a way that most of the people who are not of this generation, according to you, don't best understand it well to move the nation forward. Will the Social Democratic Front assure Cameroonians that the candidates whom you describe as young can be able to deliver on some of the most needed changes that Cameroonians need?
You see, Javis, we are talking about a political party that has stood the test of time, that has the fundamentals of this country at heart, that has the DNA of what we call one Cameroon. And we have our natural allies, like the UPC, who believe in a federated system from bottom to top and not from top to bottom. Let me plant that declaration. And now, coming to your question, maybe you want to take it again so that...
Yeah, my question is, does the SDF flag bearer, Honorable Joshua Nambagi Osi, has what it takes to drive this nation forward based on the issues that the youth advocate for?
The SDF flag bearer is a very, very competent candidate, but he is not obsessed by his own person. And he has told you, if there is any other candidate that fulfills that criteria,
yeah, I was going to ask you that
within
question.
His age bracket, he will concede. That's how it happens. And this is what majority of Cameroonians want. That is what those of us who are merely vanguards and militants to the core, we are expecting. Coming to what you just said, you see, I like people who get excited about old Jacobins who take injunction from France and come and sit on panel like this and say, Frundi was at the helm of the SDF. Frundi was one of the founding fathers. He was not only the founding father of the SDF. And he took the SDF from 1990 to 2018. Remember that at a certain point, the base was also always asking, since 2008, was asking that, when you go prepare somebody, when are you going to prepare somebody else? And he said, to prepare somebody for that task, to tour this country, the number of time that I've done, is not a day's job. You have to prepare some person who is still very, very vibrant. And many people came within the SDF to unseat the chairman prematurely, but he took his time and prepared many, many other people, and then made sure that he led the SDF in good hands. So much so that whether it is Joshua Osi or whosoever who is within the SDF today, they will be more competent than what we are seeing. Any other young, youthful person who has all his faculties in place will not take us to this drain where we find ourselves today. So that question, it is evaluated by the way the country is governed. And I've always quote that example, that we have young, dynamic, decomplex Cameroonians who don't take injunctions from white boys. We compete with them. We go to the same schools with them. They come for our girlfriends. We go for their girlfriends. So it is something that is palpable. It is not what you call some illusion that only exists in Paddy's brain. When you go to Europe, when I sit, my colleagues are all white people, but they don't give me injunctions. Sometimes I'm the one to give them injunctions. But we still have people, old people, who think that they have to go and take a picture with an ex-French president. They have to go and give account to Macron. They have to go and organize a meeting in Place de la République. Oh, I was in France. What are you talking about? So we must decolonize our mentality and make sure that we evacuate all the post-colonial institutions, starting by voting our governors. who will not come and be condescending to our local chief.
Is it really about this election now?
They will accompany this our campaign talk.
Which means that
it's far from the topic we have. Far from the topic we want.
That's what the flag bearer of the SDM has.
When we are talking,
it's when you want the flag. Because my question was, can they? No, Paddy, you will continue. I just want to read that because Mr. Mutaga interrupted me in a way. Yes, because Paddy. My question to Paddy was, does the chairman or the flag bearer of SDF has what it takes to meet the aspiration of the youth? And that is what Paddy is saying, that that is what they have, because whoever becomes president has the authority.
Yes, we are saying this, and we are saying this. Let me pick it from there, because it will be very difficult for you to destabilize me on this platform. Let me pick it from there. And when you see somebody like Joshua Osi in 2018, in one of his political programs, he said it, that we should start by eliminating all post-colonial syndromes. It is there. And that we should not accept SDOs and DOs who are appointed and they go on the field and act like post-colonial officers. That is what is posing problem in the Northwest and Southwest region. Whereas we have our custodians of our tradition who know the limitations of boundaries. But somebody comes and says, Chef there. What does that mean? What does that mean? And he doesn't know what transpired between Bali and Bawok, or Bali and Bafuchu, Santa and Santambe. They don't know. He has just been transferred there. And what if the office got burnt? Because sometimes due to corruption, they burnt offices just to conceal evidence. So you cannot come and say things like that. And Joshua Osi is there. You are talking about the results in 2018. To be fair to you people, you said you won with 18%. And we said we have our base which has been destabilized. They gave us 3%. We took it. You took 8% and you say you want to go on the street. How market? How market? We said yes. Our base has been destabilized. We took the 3% they gave us. That's the result we had. So let's be fair. You should be honest to yourselves.
Okay, Paddy. Okay.
Be honest to yourselves and say things the way they are.
Okay.
And you say, they gave it to you. That kind of filthy rhetoric.
Paddy, thank you.
Put the facts on the ground and let's have a conversation, my friend.
This is the conversation we are having. Engineer Dixon, electoral body has been convened by President Paul Biya. What should be the roadmap for political stakeholders like Semutaga of the CRM and also Paddy Asanga? Or are you okay with the fact that the Constitution still gives the president the power to call for the electoral college to convene?
Okay, I will start with the second view that you just gave. The Constitutional Council giving the head of state power to convene, incumbent president power to convene election. I think that is a limitation which I believe needs to be reviewed. It's a weakness, centralized electoral authority. I think common sense, you can't be, there's a popular movie called A Dictator where there's
Aladdin, yeah.
He's doing a race which is subordinates, and for him, he wanted to become number one. He started by shooting everybody at the leg. I think that for Cameroonians to have total confidence in the electoral system, they need to view the electoral body, which is ELECAM, as totally independent, just like we want the judicial system as well to be totally independent. Also, the constitutional amendment of 2008, to me, again, is another great limitation, which gave unlimited tenure to incumbent presidents. These are some of the reforms which I think that, if being done, would give the booster for Cameroonians who actually believe in the electoral process, and also judicial oversight. The Constitutional Council, which validates results and disputes, is also appointed by the head of state. Those are the areas of centralized electoral authority, which I view as a limitation in the whole process. Coming back to your first question, which you asked, if the opposition parties, the SDF, the MRC, and all the others that are having intention of leading this nation and bringing reforms, which they so much talk about, talking of what we are expecting to see of them, again, I said even the ELECAM has not pointed out clearly conditions for coalition. I think ELECAM, being the organizing body, needs to make public conditions for coalition. I think as up to now is the population, the common man is the one that is decrying coalition. They want to see coalition. They want to see coalition. But the accompaniment which should come from the electoral organizers that have to accompany opposition parties that wants to do coalition, they need to set guidelines. We said one time in this platform that opposition parties should, consult with experts on guidelines for coalition, because we have many parties, and many parties cannot necessarily bring change. We asked one time here, can an opposition party tell us the number of polling stations that we have in Cameroon? That is a question.
There are 26,000
Good. How many of them? When I say that, it's not figures in the head. I mean, like knowing where they are. You understand? Can they? And if they know, do they have representatives in all these polling stations? So I'm just struggling to highlight that.
That should be their assignment now.
That should be their assignment.
And now that the electoral college has been convened.
Exactly. And also another limitation that is there is low voters turnout. Is low voters turnout of the 2018 presidential election. How many Cameroonians voted? I think it was 2 million, 3 million.
3 million.
Of the 4-5 million that registered.
Eligible voters.
So you see the low of a country of 30 million.
Which Douala,
about 30
the
million.
population itself for Douala is around 5 million.
Exactly.
Which means that it is just half of Douala that determine the fate of the entire 10 regions.
Exactly. So this low voter turnout again is a huge limitation, which I believe that several times we have used this platform to educate Cameroonians that this is your right of franchise. You have to exploit it. Don't sit in the bar and keep discussing and keep criticizing. Come out and vote in your masses. At least, even if the change you want doesn't come, the system in place will understand that the pressure is increasing. But if we say we have 8 million registered voters, of 7 million registered, the day of voting, just 3 million go out and vote, it's a sign that we are sleeping. And sincerely speaking, we can only get the government we have is a reflection of who we are. We shouldn't keep saying, oh, we want change, but at the end of the day, we are not taking serious our own obligation. So that's my point of view.
Maybe before getting to Semutaga, I want to ask you this question. When we look at the political landscape as of now, can we say, if all things being equal, that if the opposition decide to go by solo where they are, can they outsmart the CPDA? Can one party outsmart CPDA? It's
my opinion again, I doubt. Reason being that in the remotest of area, let's say Furawa, there will definitely be a polling station in Furawa. No route, they don't have route to Furawa. But you discover that the ELECAM will organize election there. Will the opposition have a representative there? When we are decrying coalition, maybe I should explain this for the opposition party to understand. When we are decrying coalition, is for vote protection. One party, I don't think division of labor. One party may not have the resources to cover all the polling stations. So if the party starts seeing coalition from this standpoint, and they come together and organize themselves, so they be represented in all the polling stations.
Where my people are not there, people are there.
That's it. That will be their strength. Before they start looking at power sharing. So if they are serious of change, that's why I said the guidelines of coalition must be laid down. Coalition is force, but ego and division of vision will allow them, and the diversity of policies will allow them to come together. That's the point. And if they can't do that, Mr. Javis, I think we will just be boiling beans with candle that may never get ready. So without that happening, I don't see any political party that will stand alone as of now to challenge the incumbent.
Okay, Semutaga, you wanted to react to some of the things that Paddy said, or ask my question?
Not necessarily reacting on the things that Paddy said, because we're not here for a ping pong.
I think that I would just want to add something to what Engineer Dixon was saying. He said that there should be a coalition among the parties of the opposition so that they could be effectively represented in remote areas, or I would say there may be a logical lapse in what he's saying, because he talks of ELECAM going to organize elections in those places. That is true. I would ask this question: if the agents of ELECAM are foreigners, first of all, they are Cameroonians, is he telling us that the agents of ELECAM are militants of the CPDM that would be unable to transmit the exact results that come from the polls? Because remember that there is an article of the Electoral Code that says it is only the report from ELECAM that is validated, that is valid. Ce n'est que le PV de ELECAM qui fait foi. That's why we have been saying that ELECAM ought to stop being maybe an allied to the CPDM and serve the nation.
Are you not going back to contradicting what you just said now?
Yes, I said that. I have not listen to the logical interpretation. I said if he's telling us that ELECAM will obviously go there to organize elections, which we expect ELECAM to be neutral, meaning that ELECAM is supposed to ensure that the results that are brought out from the polls, because they say it is their only PV, that is valid. They ought to be ready to give Cameroonians the verdict as they are from the polls. Now, if there isn't a coalition, it is certain that other political parties will be represented in those areas, in, like you say, Furawa and other like. Let's take that the CRM is not in Furawa and the SDF is there. Is the SDF going to connive with the CPDM to rig elections if the CRM won? Or if the CRM was there, is the CRM going to connive with the CPDM to rig elections if the SDF win? I think that argument is baseless. We should be talking of forming a coalition just simply because we need to reduce the confusion that reigns in the air. Because Cameroonians will be having so many persons that they may be going to vote for if the opposition is going in separate rounds. But then, looking at the work that has been done by some of the opposition leaders, I am taking the example of my candidate, Professor Kamto, and the CRM, you find that if the CRM candidate, Professor Maurice Kamto, were to go in as the CRM candidate alone, we will be validly saying that the CRM has refused a coalition. But presently, we are talking of a coalition that is the Political Alliance for Change. Amam Bielo, that was the campaign director of New John Funti in 1992. You just heard his political party decided to join the CRM, contribute, adding to the pie of...
Let him land, Pazi. Pazi, let him, I'm coming. Pazi, you have time. Let him land, you have time. We have time, we have enough time.
Yes, adding to the number of political parties that have been on the platform. Don't forget that there is a misconception that if we are talking of a coalition, it must be with the political parties. The civil society exists. And the real coalition even is a coalition with the civil society that has a neutral mentality, because they are not governed by any particular political discipline.
Then why don't let the civil
society? I will come to you. You have time. We have time.
Professor Kamto has been with the teaching corps. He has been with the medical corps, the artists. He has been with the farmers, trade unions. And all these have already endorsed his candidature. We have documentaries which have been mounted up already, showing the different consultations and their different grievances or the different proposals they are giving on how the country will be managed. So the APC, the Political Alliance for Change that endorsed Professor Kamto, is a large coalition, and we are glad that today most people who were almost against that coalition are coming to buy even the utterances of the coalition. Remember, Professor Kamto was the very first person as a clever, a visionary leader to say that there is vacancy at the presidency of the republic. Of recent, a political leader who just resigned from the regime said, yes, that is true. most opposition party leaders castigated Professor Kamto.
And
like I told you,
let me ask my
like
question.
I told you, let me just land before you say.
Yes,
like I told you,
yes, land.
like I told you, it corroborates the fact I told you that there are political leaders and their parties which are just get scratchers. They are just scratching to get smoke coins from the regime in place and survive. They are not there with any genuine will to ascend to the Supreme Magistracy. So you can ask your question.
Okay, who conveyed the electoral body if there was a vacancy at the presidency? Was it conveyed by an angel from heaven?
Whether it is a demon,
no.
Who
conveyed? Who conveyed? I want to know who conveyed. Whose signature was it? Who conveyed it?
We know there has always
no. Who conveyed?
There has been a question
who conveyed it? It's a yes or no.
There is a question.
When you say there's a vacancy,
my brother,
who presided over the 20th May celebration in Yaoundé?
Did you see the number of things that happened?
Did you see the number of things that happened there? The issue is, I want us not to. We are moving to an age of political sensitivity.
Yes.
Now, when we say there was a vacancy, we have been seeing the president of the republic. 10th of February, he addressed the nation. 20th May, we saw people said, "Oh, he was not going to be there." We saw him at the boulevard. 20th May, we have seen him receiving audience. Now, I just want to know. Yesterday on the 11th, we saw the conveying of the electoral body. So, who conveyed it if there was a vacancy?
Mr. Tah Javis, the fact that you can sign a text giving you to write.
Okay, what is the name of who?
Different from having your mentality. Your
No. But there could be a better way of putting it than saying there's a vacancy.
There is a vacancy. There's a vacancy. I want to be frank on that.
Let me ask you my question.
Are you saying that we are better placed than those who have dined and wined with President Paul Biya for the last 20 years? Who can tell us that we are leaving the platform? Their coalition will form. We're in his government, and we know. We are certain. We are telling you today that this man is unable to run the nation.
Okay, my next question. My next. Yes.
My man, Paddy, leave the outside. You are coming to this.
The last question before I go to Paddy.
Yes.
Paddy, just hold what you want to say. You learn. You said the statement made by Engineer Dixon has some logical lapses.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Very correct.
When he made allusion to the fact that coalition is to secure votes, and quoted from Furawa that areas where Elekam that has no route, Elekam will still be there to organize election. And you said,
who are those to vote there?
Furawa has people. Don't.
Who do not belong to a political party.
Hold on. And you said that he has logical lapses because you are saying that he's like saying Elekam cannot be trusted. But in 2018, are you not shooting yourself on the leg? Because in 2018, at the post-electoral dispute, your candidate said the vote were stolen and blamed Elekam. Now, if you had already noticed that was how Elekam was, is Engineer Dixon not right to say that you already know the problem, solve it by going to a coalition to secure it, rather than you saying that no, Elekam should do what it's supposed to do? And are you not also accusing the other opposition parties of voting, of selling of vote by saying that okay, SDF is there, SDF should give you or whichever party is there should give you the result as who?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tah Javis, for that sensitivity. Like I said, I will continue to say the CRM did not contest elections in 2018 because we hadn't police stations. If you saw the plaidoirie of Senior Barrister Agwabala at the Constitutional Council in 2018, he stated emphatically that CRM representative in most parts, especially in the Northwest region, were chased out of the polling station. And then in the northern regions, they were chased out with machetes, even with Elekam being there. We expected Elekam to have formulated his own complaint to table to the Constitutional Council. That was not done.
Is that not enough reason for coalition?
Coalition without the genuine way to enforce the law. Coalition is not coming to enforce the law. We want that the laws in this nation should be active, so that the justice system should be free. The Constitutional Council should be ready to judge in an impartial way, meaning that when political parties petition for irregularities, they should judge on it and be impartial. Not that a coalition would have anything to change, especially if the CPDM will use forces like the gendarmes, the police, and the rest connive with the gros bras to chase away representatives or police station agents. What I was saying is that coalition is not bad. The CRM is in a coalition, in a vast coalition. That's the biggest coalition at this particular juncture. It is the oldest because it was since 2023. I mean, if you look since 2023, there had not been any other coalition. Other coalitions that came up just maybe to rival.
Biggest opposition coalition.
Yes, the biggest opposition coalition.
Biggest
yes,
coalition.
No, thank you. You are right. Time for controlling. The APC, the political alliance for change, which is endorsing the candidature of Professor Kamto, is the biggest coalition, and it's a coalition of free-minded Cameroonians. I told that majority are those of the civil society that are not bounded by party discipline. Those who have scrutinized, they have seen in Professor Kamto the man that is fit to lead the opposition. Don't forget that when we are going in for presidential elections, it's not the political party that candidates that the electors are going to vote for. They are looking at the person who is at the helm of the coalition.
Briefly.
Yes. So
briefly, how many opposition parties have joined the CRM coalition?
We are talking of the civil society.
Briefly, how many opposition parties that form the coalition? Civil society are supposed to be neutral.
They are civil society organizations.
They are supposed to be neutral.
Yeah, they are neutral.
Yes, now briefly, how many opposition parties?
At this particular juncture, I have not been given the mandate to speak on behalf of the APC.
No, I'm saying how many? Just
I said I have not been given the mandate to speak on the APC. I'm talking as a special advisor to Professor Kamto. That would be treasonous to tell you that these people are this.
Agree.
Yes.
My question is, why do you then tempt it the biggest when we have Akeremuna's coalition that has parties that we can actually cite? These are not global houses. Akeremuna has that of Professor Kumvondo. Akeremuna also has the PAP party. Akeremuna has PHP party. Akeremuna has so two others. So you cannot cite there. You still say it's the biggest house.
Honestly, I'm not here to talk of Akeremuna, who is a brother from the Northwest region and a father. I am not here to talk about any other political party. I'm here to talk about the CRM. And I told you, I repeat, I said emphatically that this CRM candidate has been endorsed by the APC, which is the largest opposition political alliance. Just wait when there will be a press conference to present the candidature of Professor Maurice Kamto. You will get all these political parties being mentioned. I don't want to call their name because I have altogether 10 of them now. I don't want to call. You just cited 2. We just joined with the candidate you talk of. So it's not a problem to me.
Yes.
So that will come to you.
I like the lot of the energy that he keeps repeating the name of Maurice Kamto like a program parrot. But it's okay. It's fair game. There is a difference. There is a difference between alignment and coalition. Let me repeat, and this is the takeaway that you have to take from here, going home. What is happening with Kamto's personality and his ego? It's asking people to come and ally behind him. He's not ready for any candidature. And Ninja has allied behind him.
Really?
You understand what I'm saying? A coalition is not because somebody is is a professor. You sit down and you decide, is it a coalition of action? Is it a coalition for a transition, or is it a coalition for replacement? But Kamto is looking.
Padiso, you know the APC so well. Up to extent you're analyzing the APC. We know that the SDF has an alliance. I was expecting Padi to be talking about the SDF alliance.
Semutaga, you have accused Padi severally of trying to interrupt you, and of that his interruption may not seem civil. Are you not?
I still have my time.
Yes. Yes. No, but he's selling the SDF. Then man.
You don't denigrate something that is not denigratable. So what I'm saying is,
you're on the coalition and alliance.
Yes. There is a big difference between aligning behind somebody and coaliting with somebody. You are a member of come to, you can sing come to, talk come to. But when you come to say you want a coalition means that we are talking of equal status. We sit down now and we put the cards on the table. Somebody doesn't just get up because he's frustrated, he goes into his room and says, I form APC. What is APC? Alliance pour le changement. Changement pour changer quoi? Remove Patrick and put Patrice? Is that what you're saying? What is the document of that, your alignment? When we talk about coalition, we are saying that we have a transitional program that would go this way. The first 3 years of governance is to make sure that we rewrite the constitution of this country. And if we are putting somebody at the head of that coalition, when there will be general elections, that person is not going to take power. But you people are not saying all those stuff. You come and say, come to us, a coalition behind you, expect people like us. It will be very difficult for a leftist political party to join with a far-right political party which is almost capitalist and liberal, that wants to implant homosexuality in Cameroon. This is something that Cameroonians in their vast majority don't want to hear about it.
I'm sure you are moderating the platform. Mr. Tah Javis, I will not be here to get Paddy voice out sacrilege, which
You cannot prove on a platform that
hold on now.
Cameroonians
Hold on.
who are well matured and cultured and watching. If you are talking of homosexuality, where have you seen it within the APC and the CRM?
Let me
We
explain.
have evidence to substantiate.
Can I moderate the program?
This is
Can I moderate the program? Can I moderate? Please, Elvis, let's take on break. Let's take on this break. Elvis, please, let's take on the break. Elvis, let's take on this break. Engineer Dixon, we are looking at this aspect where he said your argument on the coalition had logical lapses. Do you agree?
I think that your observations were right on point, because his party was one of the parties that went to the Constitutional Council and decried on all the electoral malpractices that took place. And when they were asked to even present the procès verbal that they are claiming, I don't think it came out, because if though the procès verbal that they are claiming were changed came out, then I believe that the Constitutional Council was in a very good place with all the visibility of Cameroonians. Everybody watched live how things were going on. So if I am giving suggestion, is based on the lapses observed, which opposition parties themselves decried in the last presidential election. So if I am giving as a proposition that coalition should be a force which will permit these opposition parties to protect their vote, and he is the one coming against what I'm saying, then I don't know what else to say.
So, Dixon, before he Mutaga interrupted.
But please, let's not use the word of homosexuality.
That one is gone. Let that one, but it is true that.
No. Padi, continue. But yes. Continue.
So, and now we talk about alignment and coalition. Remember that there was a coalition of political parties that are represented in the assembly sometime between 2022, just after the electoral process with UDC, PCN, I think UNS, and so on and so forth. And these are political parties who put themselves together within the parliament. But this other guy who says now that he's the one calling for people to ally behind the police council, he defected. He defected from this coalition, whereas he was a member of the SDF. Now, that one aside, So we want to evacuate the question between an alignment and a coalition. And before political parties cohabit, because in coalition you have the connotation of cohabitation, you look at the DNA of what they have as their plans of governance. When you people have some common grounds, let's say you are talking about federalism, it is very, very common that UPC, UDC, and all the leftist party, they believe in federalism. We already have a common ground based on the DNA of the political parties that I've just cited to you. That one, you can sit down and say, okay, since these other parties are far-right political parties, let them go and do their own coalition, and we do our own coalition. The opposition, even in 1992, the opposition did not have a unique candidate. Other people ran for elections. So we must factor that one in. Then when we come, because we don't have too much time, I want to take on that election stuff. Listen, it will be very, very naive for my brother to say that Elecam should be fair. How do people get at Elecam? He who pays the piper determines the tune. And this is how it works. To pick Mr. Biya, we know the base of every political party within the opposition. And we also know that Mr. Biya has the state coffers that he uses for his campaign, and he uses also the...
No, you cannot say that he...
It's
an allegation where we, as of commons, can distance itself away from it.
The common man knows it. Why are we afraid to say these things?
We must say things that we can back up with evidence. We take exception to that.
Okay, you people can take exception, but I, as an opposition, I'm calling them and I'm saying it as it is for the people to know. Now, when the opposition goes on the field, we know that the base of PCN is here. We say, okay, please, hold that part in check. Here at Douala 5, we know that the SDF is here. Hold it in check. We know that at Furawa, at Fonfuka, at Agiati, in Batibo, and so on. We know at the far north, we know that this is all those. We are saying that we should be very, very vigilant and watch them. Make sure that we hold our nocturnal meetings and be void of having too much media people coming to know what we want to do and so on, because
my question briefly,
the person to control, to look after is the CPDM, not the opposition, because at any point in time they can remove a joker and we should be able to puncture that move. So I'm listening, sir.
Paddy, you said the ruling party may be keeping an element of surprise. I've not said anything. Are you by chance doubting that President Paul Biya will not run for this election?
My intimate conviction is that he's not going to run the elections. My intimate conviction is that Mr. Biya is not going to run for the elections.
Okay.
And he will be doing some dishonor to himself, because from my own lecture of Mr. Biya, he might be physically frail, but I know that in their family they have a very sound memory. 45% of the GDP is coming from our region. First president, Francophone. Second president, Francophone. And then the third president should be also Francophone.
Thank you, Paddy. Thank you. Thank you. Good day, Mr. Javis and panelists. It's funny how opposition will be busy accusing and trying to prove a point of who fits rather than addressing the way forward for educating Cameroonians of participation. Coalition and as coalition.
Civil society, we will take part actively in the voting, but I will not take the platform to align with any party. The party that I will vote is a party that is able to make me understand that the life of my children and my grandchildren to come will be better off. I think that is what we are looking for. So they should not hide themselves. They should come out and sell all the strategies which will make us judge whether they are competent to man the affairs of the state, or will better stay where we are. I think that's my
Briefly, you are a civil society where Joshua Nambage Osi yesterday announced that he's willing to form or to give up his nomination for a candidate that meets the vision. You see it as realistic or a political talk?
Who said that?
Joshua Osi.
Give candidate who?
That is willing to give out his nomination to form a coalition. He's willing to allow somebody to lead the opposition if he sees that the person has the best interest of the nation at heart.
If he said that,
yes,
that's being genuine, because I have said here. See, Mr. Javis, let's not be novice. The CPDM machinery is not something you joke with. CPDM is a machine. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's everywhere. A serious opposition party member, you be realistic. How much do you have? How much? When they call for their anniversaries, you see what happens. You go there, sometimes they don't even fit well. But when CPDM calls for anniversaries, you see the difference. Now, understand that this is an incumbent party. If Cameroonians say they want change, and opposition leaders are there as drivers of this change, they should get serious. So I believe that if he's saying that, he's listening to what the common man is saying, because if you walk the streets of Cameroon now, the voters are crying. They want to see
a strong main opposition now that has actually downed that tribe.
The voters want to see a coalition. They want that the presidential election should be very competitive, so that even if it's the CPDM that emerged again as victorious, the people will be like, we tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and happy Sunday to our televiewers.
Thank you, Sir Mutaga, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Tah Javis, and once more, I wish to congratulate those who have been watching this program right in the Northwest and Southwest region, to tell them they should not forget Professor Kamto has always been for the Northwest and Southwest. That's the more reason through the Aya Foundation he had to offer support to the refugees of the Anglophone crisis who are in Nigeria and internally displaced, and that numerous militants of the CRM are still in prisons because they went out in 2020 to say no to the war in the Northwest region, yes to dialogue and diplomatic means to end the war. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. Looking forward to having many Anglophones vote for Kamto come October 12, 2025.
Thank you very much, Paddy Asanga, the Abakwa boy and veteran from Germany. How do you call their place? Hamburg.
Yes.
D0.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
I'm very, very pleased to share the panel with my friend and Taga and Sir Dixon.
But you said in the beginning of the program that I should not call you a man.
No, because you don't call a man my man.
Okay, yes, thank you for coming.
It gives a very negative connotation. But this is what I have to say. Anglophones, it is your turn. And you have all what it takes for you to use your voters' cards and redress the mistakes of Fumban and put this country on track. Don't let it go. Vote for one of yours. I'm saying that, vote for one of yours. They best know your problem and they will be able to protect you.
Okay.
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. This program will be rebroadcast today at exactly 10:30 p.m. It will be uploaded on our 2 YouTube channels. We have a YouTube channel for My Media Prime TV. You can go to YouTube, just type My Media Prime TV or BT Media Group. Any of them, you have our programs there on. And also, we are now on Canalsat 510, no longer 319. We are now on 510 Canalsat, and also reset your decoder. For those of you who are unable to reach us, scan and reset for our new polarity has changed. For those who are using the satellite, the RASCOM, or those who are using the normal dish, things it has changed. So rebroadcast is 10:30, and this program comes up every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30 p.m. 12 to 1:30 p.m. Some of you have sent me messages that you think that this person is not saying the truth, this person is saying the truth. If you can come here and also say your own truth so that we can hear you, participation is free. Just contact me on the number on your screen. We'll put the topic. If it's of your interest, you come and speak and say what you think should be done, as long as you take responsibility for what you say. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. My name is Tah Javis Mai, Commercial Capital Douala. Until we meet again, stay blessed. Bye-bye and stay out of trouble.